Hello everyone, my name is Imperius and welcome to a special episode of a playthrough of Eternal Doom 4, specifically the Return to the Forlorn Fortress. Return. Eternal Doom 4 is one of my favourites. It might be my favourite. And I don't say that from like a technologically best perspective. It was good at its time for sure, but it's now what, 10, 15 years old? But it's one of those WODs, and this is the case with Doom, that it turns out to be that it's the nostalgic ones that really hold a special place in your heart. And this is this is one of mine. The scope of this level, I mean, the scope of all of the levels is just crazy ambitious. And if this had ever turned into be a Mega WOD, it would have been like the best, hands down. Stop dooming forever because we've peaked. Now, sadly, that wasn't the case. But we do have 4 very good, excellent levels, and 3 that are a hub. So if you boot this up for the first time, we're in the first 3 levels, I think, which are maps 7, 8, 9, I want to say, are an interconnected hub with an objective. You've got to kill a cyber demon and rescue a dead commander, something along those lines. They're okay. Those ones are okay. But this one is where it really starts to shine. This one, the next 2, and the last one, so the next 4 are all just absolute masterpieces, with this one being my personal favourite. But I think the one by the late great Epsy, the Shrine, which I may or may not do a playthrough at some point, is probably the best. I mean, it is the best, but it's not my personal favourite, and that's only because this was really the first one that I played. And it just blew my mind, the scope of it. So, you might think 321 enemies, 2 secrets. So far, it doesn't seem particularly impressive, maybe? This first room, I don't think does a great lot of justice. Like, this is just the appetizer for the main event. The main event is kind of when you realise just what this level is going for, and it is a beast. I'm not quite sure what we're going to end up on, but I wouldn't be surprised if that kill count gets to, well over 500, maybe 6, maybe even 700. I'm actually not sure if 100% kills is possible, because I'm not entirely sure if some of the line deaths, and there are a lot of line deaths that spawn in enemies on this level, are repeatable actions or not. So Eternal Doom 4, this level and a lot of the others work on the basis of Z-Doom scripting. And so if you walk over a particular line death, enemies spawn. They aren't teleported in from a closet, they are just created dynamically. And you can see now that the kill count has gone up to 323. Probably because that Cacodemon spawned in. Maybe that Mank as well, actually. But yeah, so they're not teleporting in from a monster closet, as you would say do in Boom, but they are actually just being created. And that creates a bit of a problem from a completionist perspective, because you're never quite sure if you've triggered all of the line deaths. And like I say, I'm not entirely convinced that some of them aren't even repeatable. And also, there are some unobtainable kills, at least in the GZ Doom version I'm playing. Well, in the GZ Doom source port I'm playing, there are at least a couple of enemies, a couple of Cacodemons that don't float up, so you can't legitimately kill them. So this isn't a 100% kills playthrough. We are going to get all the secrets, and we are going to get as many kills as we possibly can. We'll go out of our way to get as many kills as we can, and when some turn up that aren't obtainable, I'll point them out. But you can see we're already up to 328, and we're not even out of the Great Hall yet. So we've already seen a good amount spawn in. And there isn't really too much of a strategy as such for this level. It's more kind of just take it easy, take it slow. You can die, and you will die if you're reckless and careless. But if you play cautiously and you know some of the surprises, then you should be fine to do this single segment. And obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know the video length, but I would buckle in because my anticipation at this point, my expectation at this point is this is going to be well over an hour. Well over an hour. Which adds to the spiciness because some of the last fights are actually the most challenging. And when you've been playing for an hour, single segment, no saves, no deaths, it really does add to just the spice of it. It just gives it a bit of a kick. Now that chain gunner down there, that's one you want to watch out for. He's one of the little tricks, as is that guy. I don't know if you necessarily saw that on YouTube, but there is a rocket zombie on that ledge there that if you open this door too carefully and slowly and don't know he's there, he will kill you. Because custom enemies are used in this ward. They're used quite well, actually. You've seen the black imps, which have a slight homing function, I guess, to their little balls. Not like the revenants. They just sort of gently coast towards you. The rocket zombie, obviously, and then I think there's a couple of others as well that we'll see as we go through. Anyway, now we're going to go down, although I'm just going to grab some stuff first. We will come back to this corridor. Everything kind of loops round on itself in this level, which again is just really nice. It feels like it's all built on top of each other, like a real fortress would be. And there's also a lot of silent teleporters, like here. We're going down, and we've actually just teleported to a completely new area, but it gives you the sense of actually being underneath where you were before, which is pretty cool. Now this area, there's a lot of shotgunners, so keep the shotgun on. No, not the shotgun. What's this gun? It's a chain gun. Keep the chain gun on and just run around and pepper them because, yeah, at the moment you don't have any armor and, yeah, well there you go, that's 15 health just gone at that range. They will kill you very quickly. And also if you approach that gate, that's where we're going to go. If you do it now, then the bars start to lower. Just a very slight efficiency there if you are trying to min-max the level. And we're going to come right down into the absolute bowels of this place. And here, now every time you kill one of these Medusa imps, a lost soul will appear. Or no, an imp will appear. There we go. Again, another little thing where you've got to kind of know these triggers to get the enemies to come. And there is another trigger here as well, which we'll get in a minute. First, I want you to remember that hole in the wall and that red key, because that will be relevant a lot later. A lot later, like an hour later. Again, part of the whole level looping around on itself. And if you click on it, if you click on that door to try and open it, that's what spawns the archviolin, a very easily to miss enemy. And yeah, the Medusa imps, I think there's a variant of those I've seen in other Z-Doom WODs where they turn you to stone, but thankfully those ones don't. But they do hit like a truck. So that yielded us rocket launcher, a glimpse of the red key, and some enemies, I guess. Going down to that water area isn't the end goal here. It's going to be going through those bars that we lowered, or started to lower. But now I'm just doing a sweep, because this area is... Well, yeah, I mean, you can see this, there's a lot of enemies here. This area is really bad for missing enemies. Like, I don't know if it's because they teleport in or because the shotgunners just wander around and hence your random chance of bumping into them is reduced. But like, look at that guy. Like, where the hell was he the first? And this guy, I've been around this area before, so they've either teleported in, or spawned in, I should say, or they've just been wandering around. Either way, it does make it quite tricky to get make sure you get all the kills. Now, he was idle, so he definitely teleported in. as did that guy. This is what I mean. Unless you studied this in a Doom builder and really understood all the line deaths triggers, you're not going to have a realistic chance of getting 100% kills just by playing the level. Which I think is okay. Like, you don't need to 100% everything, do you? Some will disagree with that. But I like this level for the experience and because of the atmosphere and the design, not necessarily the 100% kills thing. Now, we're going to face another new enemy. This shield imp, which, yeah, when he has the shield up, which I think is triggered by his pain chance, he's invincible. Similar to the centaurs in Hexen. And just like the centaurs in Hexen, he shoots something from his shield. I actually think that's the only one of those in the entire level. Possibly the same with this guy. Same principle, right? It's a Hell Knight with a shield. He's invulnerable. The DBS doesn't really work very well. Rockets might, but I'm just going to stick with the shotgun because he's not tough. Again, I'm pretty sure that those two are the only two of that type of enemy in this particular level, which is a bit odd, but there you go. Now we're up here where the Hell Knights were shooting us earlier. You see what I mean about the whole thing looping around nicely on itself. And we can now go up here. Those three little doors, by the way, they always remind me of that scene in Lord of the Rings when Gandalf is looking at the three directions and trying to figure out which way to go. And he's like, oh, it's this way. Yeah, that's the vibe I get from those three little doors at the bottom of that stairs. And now we're just walking around up here, crossing line deaths, activating cacodemons. This area up here on the little walkway, this can get quite overwhelming, the amount of cacodemons there are. And there's a Baron as well, I think, in the next room. Yeah, they can properly surround you and again really chip you away because no armor yet, remember. No soul sphere, you are just at 100 health and that's it. So it only takes a few mistakes and then you're dead. And ammo is also quite tight. Yeah, the balancing here I think is fair for ultraviolence, but it is pretty tight. And finally, we get a suit of armor. But it's booby-trapped with a little remnant. Not a big deal. It's one of those turbo imps, and I'm pretty sure these stained glass windows, by the way, are, yeah, they're transparent, so the cacodemons can get you through them. And I'm just continuing to pepper down the enemies. And you can run for that key. You don't need to. You do get it a lot later if you miss it, but you can grab it now. And regardless of whether you do or not, this room will slowly fill up with enemies. So watch out for the shotgunners because they will do the most damage. And otherwise, yeah, just keep killing them. And again, you might look at this and think, oh, you're already at 181 kills. You're halfway there. We really aren't. We really, really aren't. We've got a long way to go yet. So yeah, you do get that blue key later if you miss the closing thing. I think that's actually the intended way of doing it. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to grab it now. It doesn't really help you. And we're going to play all of the level anyway, so yeah. Kill those guys. You could come out here. There's some health. I think there's some rockets as well. And you can obviously go under the water as well, because it's the Doom. And there's a little area there which will come, again, we'll come back to this area later. Now, picking up the red key makes some revenants spawn in. They're quite tricky to deal with from here because they can, obviously they've got a better line on you than you have on them. Oops, didn't quite mean to do that, but we'll roll with it. There's one more guy up there. And he's dead. So we still can't do the blue key or the yellow key, but we do have the red skull key, which we picked up in the tower. And now we can go through to this area, which is the start of the most beautiful area. Yeah, surprise imps. One of them is bugged out though. Watch out for those hit scanners up there, and don't go around this corner just yet, because there is actually a rocket zombie with a line on you in the distance. But he's a bit jank. I don't know if you might be able to see him in the top right, although watch out for the arachnotron, of course. We'll get a better look at him later, but he's like a dormant enemy, like a model that you can't interact with or kill, but I'm pretty sure he still counts as an enemy. So again, that's kind of what that's an example of an unkillable enemy. And there's an arachnotron over there, don't let him shoot you. Is he dead? I think he's dead. Now we are in here, which is another really cool area, and you can see some cell packs and stuff on the sides, and a BFG actually, if you might have spotted that. We'll come back to all of this area a lot later. For now, we just kill everything that's in this room and keep going. Where'd that imp go? Do you see him? There he is. Now these Hell Knights are kind of awkward to kill, but it's kind of necessary. So I recommend just killing them now. Wow, he was tough. That was unnecessary. And you can go into the... You might want to see there's a revenant there who's dormant, and a rocket guy there who's dormant. Again, they wake up later. You kind of just gotta roll with it, accept it for what it is at the moment. Now, this room, this library room, not particularly threatening. Most of the rooms aren't particularly threatening. This level kind of just really punishes you for trying to do it too quickly or not being careful enough. Like 4 Hell Knights in this space is not that difficult, really. But it is after this room that the kill count will start to go a little bit crazy. Like up until now, we've kind of kept up, but we won't after this. Secret bookcase, secret switch, open the door, and now we're out into the sort of main terrace area. And there's a plasma gun up here. So make sure you grab that. And yeah, you've got these sniping imps and super imps all the way around the area, the edge. In fact, up where those imps are now is the final bit. Like that's the path to the exit. And there's a big swath of revenants that have been activated as well. They were in the middle, in the bookcase room. There they are. And yeah, you can see, like, what are we at now? 411 kills? Like, that number is just going to go up. We won't be able to keep pace with it. 412 now. Just when you think you've cleared an area out, that all the enemies are dead, it repopulates. Now, I can definitely see why some people would find that frustrating. But I kind of like it, because this level is, it's slightly too big, I think, for the monster density. It feels empty. It feels empty. It feels kind of cold, like oppressive a little bit, because of the sheer size and scale of it. And I think if you didn't have the respawning enemies, or you didn't have the sheer number of enemies that there are, it would feel way too isolated and way too lost. As it is, it feels too big anyway, but that kind of works for it, because you always have something to do. You always have something to kill. Combined as well with the really sort of chill, ticking over music. I don't know if this is like placeholder music, or if this is like the actual intended music for this level, like what they envisaged in the final release, I mean. But it just works. Again, it kind of it complements this atmosphere of you being in this ridiculously big, sprawling, very foreign, very alien, but also somewhat familiar fortress. And yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time chain gunning imps in this bit, because they just are everywhere. And one of the things you notice about this is, like, there are so many places where imps are on ledges or enemies are shooting you from afar. You get to go to all of those places. Well, barring a couple of exceptions. But the vast majority of places you do get to go to. And it really, it is really cool how the level just sort of builds together itself. I don't know I suppose there must be, like, a modern day version of this. Although this sort of style isn't very fashionable at the moment in the Doom community. This is definitely my sort of favourite. Like, I could never build something like this. I mean, I don't build levels anyway, but if I did, it definitely wouldn't be as good as this. The sort of planning and scope you would need to have in your own mind to figure out how to put all of this together into a coherent, flowing level is just astonishing. But whilst I have said that this is my favourite personal one, if you do only ever play one map of Eternal Doom 4, it should be the Shrine, which I think is map 22 or 23, if you were to ID C-Lev to it. And I'm just being cautious on this corner because there's a Baron around my left. There he is. And we're up to 450 enemies now. God knows where they all are, but you can see that Hell Knight definitely wasn't there before. Neither of them were. And there's a Cacodemon above me. Oh, he's infighting, that's pretty nice. I'm being shot by imps, like, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, I don't really have the range to kill those guys with the DBS, so we'll switch to the normal shotgun. Okay. You can see up there in the top right, look, see that zombie? He's frozen. So he's a rocket zombie, and sometimes he's active when you enter this area, sometimes he's not. I don't really understand what triggers it, but it does mean he can shoot you from here, so right from there, and just destroy you. Because he fires a rocket, of course. But then he goes dormant, and I'm not sure why he's dormant, or if he's always dormant. I really just don't get it. Either way, that is one definite kill you will not be getting. Now, we're going to go back to where we killed that Baron and go into the room there. Because that's the point, this is the point where we start to feel safe, I would say, because, well, I say safe, right into an archvile. No, because this central pillar actually lowers, and there is a megasphere in it. And once you obviously get the megasphere, you know, you have 200, 200, you can start to relax a little bit. Because up till now, you know, we've been fairly light on health and armor. We haven't really gone over 100. I don't think we've gone over 100 at all, actually. And we haven't had any mega armor, so yeah. I can't remember if it's this side. It is this side, okay. And there's another archvile, for good measure. So we kill him. And this time the wave, I thought it was black imps, but I guess I was wrong. It's just brown imps. And yeah, now let's go get the megasphere. So we come up here. Hello? There we go. Ah, there's the black imps. I knew there was a black imp wave here. And there we go. Now we'll go out this door first, because there's some good ammo to get if we go this way. And it allows us to obviously kill these guys. There's a Revenant. Kill him. And yeah, plasma gun. We already had one, but it's an extra 40 cells. Won't say no to that. And you don't really need to come back here ever, I don't think. So, yeah, good to pick that up now. Okay, just checking to see. There he is, look, there's that rocket zombie again. Frozen in time forever. I knew there was more. Now this area is really deadly. So you got to run from pillar to pillar, because there's some rocket spawners at the end of the corridor. So I think they fire... Well, I'm not actually sure if they fire based on the line deaths, or if they just fire like a volley of 3. It's probably line deaths. And yeah, you got to watch out for the pain elementals as well. I think there's 2. I thought there was 2. There is 2, there we go. There's another rocket volley. You probably would survive that with the Megasphere, but it's not really worth trying to do that. Just dodge them. I thought that was a Revenant. There's the Revenant. And he's not dead. What a waste of rockets that was. So yeah, now we're sort of wandering around the passageways at the side. And I can see some more cacodemons. We're up to 516 enemies now. And we've reached this central pillar. 527 now. I told you, once you go through that library room, it starts getting out of control. How many enemies there are. Look at all these cacodemons. Where did these guys come from? They were lurking in the moat. And now we've woken them up. They weren't. They spawned in. They spawned in. And there's imps back over on the rocket launcher corridor. Hello. What are you doing? A few more to kill. Okay. Now, come in here. But I would advise not running into the middle, because the middle is like an 8-sided octagon, and every time you cross a line def like this, a shotgunner falls from the ceiling, which is useful to know if you're trying to get all the kills. You need to cross all the line defs. They're just falling from heaven to die and go to hell. Any more, or is that the last one? That's the last one. Lovely. Now, that switch there is very easy to miss, but you do need to press it. And that will open up the way to the next area. After a brief intermission of killing cacodemons and imps. There we go. Kill these revenants and then we'll head down this way. Now there is an archvile in here, but you've got a good amount of cover. So the pillars will start opening one by one like this, and you've just got to kind of be quick, kill them, and then there's the archvile. And if you're quick and all the enemies are already dead by the time he gets released, it's not too bad. The overall difficulty level of this particular level, and the WOD overall, is pretty reasonable. I think a decent person could do this with very little practice. I think blind. There's a few spicy moments where rockets, either from rocket zombies or cyber demons, can kill you, but and the bit at the start when you're on low health and no armor is a little bit tricky as well. But overall the difficulty is pretty fair. Now right behind this cacodemon I'm shooting, by the way, that building there, that is the exit. So ultimately that's where we'll end up once we get the right amount of keys. And there is a blue key just around this corner. I think it's a blue key. It's very easy to miss because it kind of just disappears. I'll show you in a sec. I'm just seeing if there's any more imps on that top bit, because those are quite difficult to hit. So yeah, there's the blue key. And yeah, it just disappears. Not really sure what that's about. Yeah, there is an imp up there, so he's probably stuck behind the dormant rocket zombie. So I'll just fire a few rockets up there just to try and kill him. He's still up there. Still up there. Got him. Got him. Oh yeah, there's Hell Knights in here now. 4 of them. And the blue key. But I swear, with everything going on, you could easily just run past that disappearing blue key on the ledge over there. Like, I really just don't get the point of that. There's very little visual cue that that's going to happen. But it does. Now we can open this blue door to come into here. So, yep, some imps jump up out of the water, and then there's going to be a archvile as well. But you've got loads of cover, you've got plasma, you've got rockets. It's not a big deal. So, yeah, if you didn't have the plasma, here's another one. So we get the plasma, we get the yellow skull key. Here's the archvile. Oh yeah, and a complement of cacodemons as well, of course. There we go. Now you can push this switch to lower the whole thing down, and it takes you back to the initial water walkways. And those shells have also appeared, by the way. The level does give you a good amount of ammo, I think. I think it gives you more than enough. And it's a nice touch that, as well as the enemies spawning in, ammo also spawns in. So constantly keeping you busy, constantly making the place feel a bit more alive. And we'll just do some sweeps just to clear up. Ah, there we go. I was concerned that some were alive up there because I don't think you actually go up there. We will go into the water down there a little bit later. But for now that we have the yellow skull key, we're actually going to go back to one of the first corridors just past the Great Hall. Because we can then access that area, which I would say is the last sort of big area. Then it's the sort of connecting back passageways. Still probably only about halfway through now, though. Even though, yeah, only 120 odd enemies left showing on the kill counter. That is, it's all lies. It's just lies. Now I can still hear some imps. Let's go back and kill these guys as well then, shall we? Try and kill as much as we can. And be careful in that little room there, because there's an inescapable pit you can drop into. Just little things like that add to the inherent difficulty. Although I suppose that's kind of artificial difficulty, isn't it? Just by having an inescapable pit. Okay, now we're through in the yellow skulky area. Like I said, this is the last big area, but we're still only like 50% of the way through the level. So we'll start by clearing the placed enemies, and then we'll go and hopefully wake some more up. Now, there's a secret in that tub of water, which we'll go back and get a little bit later. In fact, there's two tubs of water, one at either end. One of them is an invisibility, and one of them is a soul sphere, which we'll save for a little bit later, because this area gets quite well populated, shall we say. And there is in fact a cyber demon, but he comes a little bit later on once we revisit this area. But what we're going to do in this area, once we've finished sort of clearing stuff up, is press some switches, open the door to the sewers underneath this area, so directly underneath this area. And then we go through the sewers into like a lift that takes you up into the central tower that you might have just seen when we were out in the courtyard a minute or two ago. But I purposely didn't press that button because, like I said, I want to kind of start clearing places out first. And there's a lot of line deaths in here that trigger enemies, so let's get all of them activated. Let's make the number manageable, then we'll start pressing the switches. Yeah, where that revenant is now, that's the inner chamber, the pillar that we will come up in. And I think it gives you the red card key. I think. I mean, it must be, right? We were only missing the red card key and the yellow card key, so it's a 50-50. I'm pretty sure it's the red one. It's probably not going to be the red one. But yeah, watch out for those chain gunners, they will get you. So I don't know if standing on those balconies actually does spawn enemies, but... Oh, by the way, this stained glass window breaks later on, and that takes you to the second secret of the level, which is... I think it's also inside a pool of water, actually, but it's another megasphere. You don't really need it at that point. It's not like the first megasphere, which is really quite impactful to your progression, giving you that mega armor and extra health. But, you know, a megasphere is a megasphere. So we'll go get that a little bit later on, once that stained glass window is broken. And I have absolutely no idea where the trigger for that is, but it'll be another line death somewhere that you walk over. Maybe it's when the cyber demon spawns, actually. Either way, once you know it's there, it's hard to miss, because the stained glass window always seems to just break. And yeah, so we got a few more bits in here. It looks like there's a baron that spawned over the other side. And we'll step out onto this balcony for good measure, because it might activate enemies, I'm not sure. But that completes a sweep, so we've done a whole sweep around this area now. So once we kill this revenant and a couple of other bits, a couple of other guys, we'll go press the button, which again will repopulate the area, open up some new doors, and then we can progress onwards. Like I say, the goal of this is to get access to the sewers. So, press the button. That opens up the baron, behind which there is another switch. Press that switch. Same thing on the other side of the arena. Just going to take this carefully. There should be some enemies, right? I heard a mancubus. There he is. Okay, now this switch, and I'm pretty sure that's the sewers open. Here we go, look, there's some more enemies now. A couple manx. Revenant. Two revenants. Interesting. I thought it was more enemies than that. But yeah, there's the sewers. But we're going to go get stacked first. So, mega armor. That's one part of the secret. It's the invisibility, which is just pointless. Actually, it's not pointless. It's good for this. It's good for the sewers, because the sewers are full of shotgunners or chain gunners. But I'm kind of wasting it now because of these cacodemons that I wasn't expecting. Ah, and a mancubus as well. Right, next one. That's the soul sphere. I think it's the same sector, same secret. Now we've got to get to the sewers as fast as possible to try and make the good use of the rest of this invisibility. So we're just gonna run through. Oh, that was bad. What, 70 damage? Jesus. Where did he come from? Jesus. I guess when you kill the Medusa imps. Yeah, that must be it. There's a script tied to the enemy, so when you kill it, it spawns in hit scanners. And look at the ceiling as well, like the slopes. Again, not very fashionable in Doom in the current year, but my god, it's just... I think it's brilliant. I really like the architecture. I really appreciate it. Slopes are a very hard thing to do in Doom Builder. At least in my day when I used to use Doom Builder, there was no sort of pre-visualization of slopes. Like you had to, render the full game to actually get it. Anyway, we are now in the sewers proper, and the sewers act as sort of like the back passages to the level. So all of the familiar areas that you might remember from earlier, from the last, hour that we've been playing. The sewers, this gives us access to them from different angles and perspectives, and when you're first playing this, you come out and you're like, oh yeah, this is this place. So once we kill these imps in this corridor, and this corridor is another one that just seems to just never ever run out of enemies on. If you're ever short of a few enemies, I guarantee you one of them is in this corridor. It just seems to populate in perpetuity. And we've kind of wasted our Megasphere a bit. I mismanaged that invisibility, I think. I would have rather got that first, before heading down into the sewers and fighting all those hit scanners. Well, we didn't have a Megasphere. You know what I mean. The Mega Armor and the Soul Sphere is what we picked up, right? The waist-high water is a lovely touch too. Now, under here, this is really missable, by the way. But you need to come underneath here. And yeah, if you notice the graphical glitch just then, that's because a silent teleporter. But you remember when we were in the catacombs in like the first 15 minutes of the level, and I told you to remember the hole in the wall and the red key? Well, here we are. We've come full circle, we've got the key. Not entirely sure why this is necessary, but I love it. That moment when you're like, oh shit, this place is that place. It's just beautiful. I guess that does mean that it's the yellow card key that's in the tower though. Womp womp. Anyway, now there's a couple of different ways you can go. Was he there before? He was not there before. Only 23 enemies left. So this place takes you out here. You remember this place? Oh yeah, this place is that place. You don't actually need to go there. But yeah, that's opened up now, so you can get back. And we crossed a line death, I guess. So there's a whole bunch more enemies down here. And next we will go up here. And this place is a corridor. It's a courtyard actually from where we killed an Arachnotron earlier. And it's also where the secret is. But you can come up here. And you'll notice that we are now behind the bars of that arena room that we were in earlier. This place is that place. Again, we don't actually need to come here just yet, so we'll go back. I think it's something to do with this area maybe that opens up the Megasphere secret, by the way, just as it comes to my mind as I'm thinking about it. So we'll kill him. Anything more? Another Hell Knight. Absolutely paranoid that there's going to be more enemies spawning in down here. I know there is. I mean, like, where did he come from, for goodness sake? Okay, so which way should we go next? Let's go this way. So this takes us out into the water below the waterways that we were in earlier. This place is that place. And we can do a full tour of the water. And doing so, of course, spawns in more enemies for us to deal with. I don't think there's any goodies as such down here. Unless you count the the goodies of killing enemies. Okay, I think that's it. It's very quiet. There's a teleporter over here that takes you out. And there you go. Yeah, I'm not sure. Jumping might actually be enabled in the Eternal Doom 4. I mean, it's so heavily Z-Doom. I feel like jumping probably is. So, yeah, there's potentially... You could potentially end up in the water before this point, and then, yeah, just teleport back out. I can only think that's that. Apart from sort of the joy of bringing it all together, I just think that must be the reason that there's a teleporter, and even a way into that water down there. Okay, this guy... We are going to go up where he is. There's still those frozen enemies up there. We might not have been able to see them. Down to the right, back there, by the way, was the courtyard that we were in earlier. Which probably means nothing to you. Yeah, it's one you've really got to play to experience. It's an absolute labyrinth. So, what are we going to do now? We're going to go back into the sewers. Through this door. Door's on the other side. Here we go, through this door. So back down into the sewers. I told you, look. Another imp. Why? Where did he come from? We'll never know, but he's dead now. And now we can go up this way, which is the correct way. So this is a bit spicy because there's revenants here, but there's very little room to dodge them. So you've kind of got to crash their missiles into the wall to your left, if that's possible to do. And I think there's a mancubus as well. Yep, there he is. You don't want to choke now, not after an hour's worth of play. Not this close to the end. We've still got 3 cyber demons to kill. 3 cyber demons. You need the yellow card key to open that door, even though it's got skulls around the side. So that's the exit. And the yellow card key is the one that's in the central tower that's accessible from the sewers. So this is the sewers. We'll just check this place again, just make sure there's no more enemies spawned down here. And actually, we might be able to see if the... Yeah, so look, this stained glass window is broken now, and you can jump into this water, and there's the megasphere. That's the last secret. I don't know what triggers that stained glass window to break, but that's how you get the last secret. And we managed to save that mega armor for the cyber demons a little bit later on. So now we are up here. Yeah, I didn't really want to do that. And watch out for these rocket zombies. They are really, really deadly. Deadly? Deadly. They're deadly. They were there before. You might have seen them like an hour ago when we were first in the room, but down there. But they're spawned as dormant, so they're like solid, uninteractable. But they wake up when you come here, and they can end your run with their rockets. It's quite nasty. And there we go, BFG. See if we can go back. We can, but we can't jump, but it's okay, we can get up the slope. This is another cool bit where you're kind of walking over and under. There's a little bridge that raises up where the doorway was, which is quite cool. Allows you to basically get the feeling like you're walking over the archway as opposed to just on a little sneaky sector that's risen up. Five enemies left. But not really. Oh, no, not 5 anymore. Never mind. False alarm. Okay. So now that's cleared out, we're saving the Megasphere and... No, saving the Soul Sphere and the Mega Armor for a little bit later, in case we need it. Now we'll take this teleporter. Again, that teleports you to a room with a rocket ranger, so you've got to kill him before. Which I was doing when I was sniping him. Now this room is another room with some broken enemies in. At least, yeah, like I said, on this version of GZT I'm playing. There are cacodemons over the edges of the walkway, but they never rise up, so you can't actually get them. And here, look. This place is that place. So if you didn't get the blue key earlier, now is the time that you can get it. Also, that button is bugged. You can press it more than once, which can render this section unfinishable, so do be careful with that. Now, this place is that place. We're back here, except now there is a cyber demon, and we're just gonna casually two-shot him with our BFG. Yeah, there's no chance of that happening. In fact, at this point, an hour in, at this point, it's all nerves. Even on a level that isn't too difficult like this, the pressure of the last hour building up on you is a lot. So we'll take this very carefully. And did I leave any ammo down here? I did not. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, don't press that switch again, because it will lower the floor and really screw you over. Instead, we're going to go back into the sewers, and you can access the central... Like, as I knew it, there'd be new enemies. I knew there'd be more enemies down here. There's always enemies down here. Yeah, we can access the pillar in the middle. Now, I could have done it earlier because I grabbed the blue key early, but I didn't do it just to sort of show you. So come in here. You got to click on the walls. It sort of teleports you, very obviously, and then it rises you up. And from a mapping perspective, you are now rising into the middle of the pillar. And there's the yellow key. And we've got 24 enemies now to kill. All of the ammo we could possibly need. And the way to the exit is now open to us. And the kill count is still climbing. Although I think we have peaked now. This is the part of the level where you've got to make a choice as to how much time do you want to invest into finding the remaining enemies. Even with the knowledge that, well, with the knowledge that even if you do kill the 780 that are on screen, there may well be a line death somewhere that you didn't step on that spawns more. Now I'm going to do my best, but I know there are a couple of broken enemies I can't get, such as the cacodemons and the frozen rocket zombie. So I think that puts me at 3 enemies that I cannot get. The rest, well, it's fair game. We'll have a look. We'll see what it looks like when we reach the end of the level. Now, I did say earlier we had 3 cyber demons to kill. We've killed one of them. There are 2 more to kill, and they're both on that walkway by the yellow card key door to the exit, which is a very tricky walkway to kill them on, actually. Some rockets there. Oh yeah, and there's always one revenant here. I don't know why they put him there, but there he is. Like, there's no real reason for you to come back here at all. But I suppose it's nice that they put something like that. You know, it's fairly fitting with the aesthetic of the level, isn't it? Or what the level is going for. So where are we going now? Where are we going now? We're going to go to the exit. Oh, and there you go. There's those 2 cybers. Do I want to go in here? I don't think I do. Oh, that was risky. I wasn't actually sure if the rockets were going to spawn or not. I guess those are just one-time line deaths. Okay, where's that cyber demon? He's right above me. This is pretty awkward to kill. And this is what we've been saving the plasma for. The whole level, we've been saving the plasma just for these 2. So yeah, you can get to the exit building from one of 2 yellow doors, one either side, and a cyber demon guards each of them. So where that cyber demon was where we picked up one of the plasma guns a little earlier on, and this cyber demon is where we skipped that mega armor. So we're just going to take it very, very slowly. Again, there is no reason to take risks here at this point of the level. And there we go. That's the last thing that can realistically kill you. So we are, for all intents and purposes, done with the level now. Done. So I'll pick these goodies up because I'm not sure if they do spawn anything in. Yep, they do. Look at that. What the hell? 80 damage and it's circled round to get me. Just when you think nothing else in this level can realistically kill you, you get fucked like that. My goodness. Again, just picking that up to see if it causes the spawner to put more enemies in or not. So in terms of the enemies we know we haven't killed, there's the cacodemons, the floating cacodemons, and there is the frozen rocket zombie. And possibly a shotgunner in the catacombs as well, or shotgunner or two. Like I said, those ones, that's another area that's highly susceptible to having a few enemies left. But yeah, this is the end of the level. We got all the items, all the secrets, and we got the vast majority of the kills, which is what I was always aiming for, because I'm not entirely convinced that you can get all the kills in this. But for our own satisfaction, let's have a look at what we missed. So yeah, two shotgunners in the catacombs. That was an easy call. What else? Oh, there's the two cacodemons. So those are the two cacodemons. So if you go, that's in the sort of over corridor. If you have a look at them, the problem is that they can't rise up, so you can't realistically kill them ever. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the hidden zombie is 5, or the dormant zombie. That's 5. Oh, and there's something there. What is that? A lost soul? It must be. A lost soul. Which is in a pillar that doesn't open, only opens once. So yeah, that's all. That's all of them. So yeah, I hope you very much enjoyed watching that one. I really enjoyed playing it. This is really one of my all-time favourite levels from one of my all-time favourite WODs. And I thought I would just do this as a bit of a special project. I fancied playing it anyway, thought about recording it, thought about doing as close as I can to a max, and doing this commentary for you lovely people. So if you enjoyed the video, let me know, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.